Hey everybody, Kay here. On a Saturday morning when I can't go fishing because it's snowing outside in March. I could go fishing. I prefer not to drive in this today. So we said we're going to make this a Saturday tying day. I have a little black stonefly there. Saw a few of those on the track yesterday as I was running. Just wanted to show you what I do with one of those. That's a lively legs stonefly. Wanted to give you a little shot of the outside. Look at that wonderful weather out there. Fantastic. I'm going to come back here to the bench. We're going to set up a golden stonefly this time. I'm going to try not to bump the camera. So let me get that black stonefly out. Let's put this fresh hook in there. I believe that is a 7/64 speed, size 12 jig hook. You can certainly use a size 10. I didn't want to make this too big, so start your thread behind the bead. I am going to make a thread dam. One of my pet peeves is watching that bead jiggle all over the place. So I'm going to push that up with my nail. Put some thread wraps right behind it until it stops moving. It'll also help with the taper a little bit. Although we don't need much of a taper on a stonefly. I like to keep that bead from moving. And you can cut your tag. Wrap back to the bend. We are going to make a little thread ball just beyond the bend. You can certainly use dubbing here as well, make a little dubbing ball. We're going to help to splay out our tails when we tie in these golden stone goose biots. Just got them in the mail. So we're going to take one on each side. They're a nice color too. They're not straight up yellow. They're not gold. I think they're the perfect color. So when you take one of these biots, you'll see there's a curve to it. So I'm going to start with the one on the near side of the hook. You want the curve facing you away from the hook. So you tie that in just in front of that little thread ball. Like I said, you can certainly use dubbing as well. It'll help it splay out. Now, I'm going to make them a little bit longer on purpose so you can see it. A lot of times, though, I tie them in just a little bit shorter. Same thing with this one. I'm going to tie the curve away from the hook on the far side. I always have a little bit more trouble getting that far one in. We'll see. You know what? That wasn't too bad. I'm going to shorten up the one closest to me, though, without trying to rip it, of course. A couple more wraps in there. Looks pretty good. I'm actually kind of happy with that. And usually I don't get them exactly where I want them. And then you can wrap forward. You can cut them off now, but I like to create a little bit of bulk to the body of the fly. Cut those off. Then we're going to use some D-rib. I have some light golden stone in a medium size, and I have a dark golden stone in the small size. I'm going to use the smaller one because this is a slightly shorter hook. If I was using a 10, maybe I'd use the other one, but It's hard to do this part, but I like it. It is a D rib, so it has a D shape. Let me reverse what I just said. The light golden stone is the smaller one, so I'm going to use that one because of the smaller hook. It's got a D shape to it. I actually like to try to catch it so that I get the round part against the hook. Most people wouldn't do that, but it's probably easier to tie the flat part against the hook. But I tied the round part of the D against the hook, and now I'm just kind of working a little bit on a little bit of a taper. And I tied the round part on there because when you wrap this, then the flat part will be against the hook, and you'll get the round part facing outward. Certainly you can twist it too. You don't have to do it the way I did it, but it makes it easier for me when I'm wrapping. So I'm going to wrap this around, about 3 times, maybe 4. We'll see how far I can get. I need to leave a little bit of room for the legs on this Stonefly. I'm going to go 4. That should be just enough. By the way, the cat's trying to get in. I closed the door. The cat can't get in. She's kind of angry. She wants to help me tie some flies. So we're going to tie this down. Said I wrapped it about 4 times. And get a couple more wraps on it just to make sure it gets locked in place. That looks pretty good. I don't know if you can hear that, but she's scratching at the door. I'm not letting her in. She'll try to jump up here and help us with the tying. So, got our abdomen done. So I'm going to put that thread right back there in front of the D-rib. Found something new. I'm sure it's been out there a little while, but I didn't know it. I have some scud back, which I do have in 1/8 inch and 1/4 inch. They now make it in a 2 millimeter. I think this is better for a lot of the flies that I tie in terms of the wing case. So hold that right on top, and I'm going to tie that in right in front of the D-rib. If I can get it exactly, yeah, that's better. That's about on top. Make sure it's tied in there pretty good. I think that's pretty good. Looks good. Now, most people will not do what I'm doing next. I got some lively legs here, and I just dropped one on the floor, but I have another one sitting here. These are the micro. A lot of people cut 2 of the legs off just because it's a little long. I'm going to try to fit them all in. It's not going to be fantastic, but we're going to try to fit. For the Stoneflies, I like to try to keep all of them in. So a lot of people will tie these on the hook first and cover it with dubbing, laying flat. I like to tie it in the same way I did the scud back or the wing case, and then I will put some dubbing on here for the thorax, and I'll fold it over top. A lot of people will just tie these first against the hook. I have a tendency to get them all covered up, so we're going to tie these in eventually like that after I add some dubbing in there. So, got some golden stone. I'm going to add a couple of bunches of this. Fairly small dubbing noodle, but we're going to add more. I'm going to cover up some of this hook. Try not to catch your legs there. Throw a little more on here. Like to build up a little bit of bulk for when I pull those legs over top. especially in the middle there. Now, this is what most people do in the beginning, and like I said, I just kind of do it reverse. I don't tie the legs on the hook because like I said, I make a mess with the dubbing. So put some dubbing on with those legs pointed out the back, and then start to fold these legs over. And you can adjust where they're at a little bit as you're wrapping. Kind of push them around a little bit, but I'm putting some dubbing over top of them now to hold them in place. Let me turn that a little bit. Hopefully you can see that. And you can put as much as you want on here. I'm just going to put just enough to keep them where I want them. And it's always those front two that cause me the biggest amount of grief. But I think we got them fairly well, I think. They're not bad. Just backtrack here a little bit with some more dubbing on that back part. Okay. Make sure I don't catch those front legs too much. All right, so kind of like that. I can't cut this little tab off, but I'm going to wait. Pull the wing case over top. See, I really like this thickness, this 2 millimeter. I don't have to stretch it too much to make it smaller. And I think it basically covers those lively legs just perfect for me on this size. So kind of like that. Certainly you can use a darker thread if you want, but we're gonna put some UV resin on it anyway, so you won't really see the thread. Make sure you don't catch those front two legs. Catch that tab, put a little bit in front here. Okay, so we're gonna cut that tab. We're gonna cut the wing case. Hopefully I have it tied in well enough. Stretch it out a little bit. If you have a little bit left over there, it's okay. Like I said, we're going to cover this up with a little bit of UV resin. Again, don't catch your legs. Keep those legs, those front legs out of the way. And then do a little whip finish. It looks like we did not catch the legs. The legs are all sticking out there. A little bit of extra dubbing there, but you can cut that off. Make sure your knot's pretty tight there. Now I have some black UV resin. You can certainly use clear, but to cover up that thread, add just a little bit there. Make sure I don't have too many bubbles there. And you can put a little bit across the scud back like that and hit it with your UV light. I hear the birds singing out in the snow. Kind of ironic. Hopefully this snow is gone in a hurry. And when your UV resin is cured, pretty much there's your golden stonefly. You can certainly brush out a little bit of that dubbing underneath if you want, but I just kind of fish them like that. Hey, thanks for watching. Talk to you Monday.